Hello and welcome to another review. This time we are taking a look at the mighty Gunvolt burst by the Inti creates, and it's a Mega Man game basically. Totally a love letter to the old Mega Man games, and it takes to both Mighty Number 9 and the Gunvolt series and smashes them together into a single game. And let's go. I'll show you some things. So you can play both as Beck and Gunvolt from both the games, and they differ a bit as you play through the game. The stages, bosses, and everything is totally same as you go through the game, but mostly it is pretty much the same. And the big thing about this game is that you can customize your gun. So instead of a usual Mega Man style games where you kill a boss and you get the boss weapon and you can just switch to that, you can actually make those weapons yourself in this one, which is a really neat feature. And there's a normal mode in the game, and as you complete the game you unlock the hard mode. So if your first playthrough feels a bit easy, you can get a hard mode on your second playthrough. And as you can see from my two files here, you can see completion time on both of these. Not 100%, but just a playthrough is about less than 2 hours. So it's not super long game, but it's about the same length as the old Mega Man games. For example, 8 bosses and then some boss body levels basically after that. So it's pretty much the same length. And this one not only it has a normal mode and then a hard mode to keep a replayability up, it also has a lot of unlocks that you can find on the levels, and you basically have to play through each level. Let me show you here. 3 times, because there's rare items on each of the levels, and the upper level line here you can only get 1 per playthrough of the level. So you choose which one you take of these, and then there is rare items to find on the level, on all of these levels. So that makes you play through the level multiple times to get all of these unlocks. Like here, I haven't actually gotten even these in the first level on this playthrough. So there's a lot of replayability through that, and there's also challenges. So you have basically achievements here that you can do, and they carry over between playthroughs, as you can see here where you have over search, because I just completely claim as a Gunvolt and Beck. So get a sticker from that. And later on there is a clear game under 1 hour, defeat a boss, etc. And then there's use weaknesses, so you have to craft the weapons, kill them with a weakness, clear a stage without taking damage. There's an S mark, etc. Without using any bursts. That should be fairly easy. And there's also these. Clear a stage under certain conditions. So you can see here, you cannot change your equipment during the stage, and you have to use trajectory curve. So these are different types of weapon customization. So you have to play through each level with a set weapon setup, which is a nice additional challenge. Some of them are kinda rough. And you also have a collection system in this game, so there is this sticker collection that you can collect, and there's quite a lot of them to be collected throughout the game. So there's a lot of replayability through that, but it is playing the same game again and again and again. Let's jump into the city level, which is the first level of the game. Got a tutorial level, and I'll show you some customization here. You might want to skip this if you don't want spoilers of some of the abilities. Basically, the system allows you to... this is your default gun, so we'll just equip that for now, and I'll show you. Begin the stage. You can customize your weapons before going into the level, and you can also switch and customize them during the level. So this is a Beck's basic buster, I guess, and you just shoot with this. But we can also go into customization here, and we can select some of these ones I've done before, like this one, and we shoot these whirling blades now. And we can do a totally new weapon. Let's go like here. And you can choose your bullet type, which doesn't cost you any CP. CP is your well, customization points basically, which dictate how much you can put stuff into your single weapon. You unlock more and more CP throughout the playthrough, which is kind of annoying feature as well, because you play through the game and you barely get to do stuff with your guns until the end of the game, and then you're basically through the game, and then you basically just have to grind levels to get more CP to get those really nice combos going. So it's kind of good thing about the game that there's customization with CP points, but also CP points are kind of limited in a single playthrough, unless you grind later on. But let's take out, for example, let's see, what do we want? You can shoot with the button here, test the abilities. What do we want? The Spark ability. I don't have all the unlocks unlocked on this one, so we cannot use all the abilities, but there's a lot of customization, like how many bullets you want to shoot, how many you want, how method of fire. So for example, this one would allow me to have a spread shot instead of shooting a single fire like this. There's also a shield option that basically shields you around with these. Let's keep the single fire. There's trajectories. Straight is the basic one. Then you have a homing one. Homing is one of my favorites. I really like homing. There's a curve that curves upwards, and a waveform, and a return, which could be really actually fun. And there's a couple other ones that we haven't unlocked as well. So let's do a wide trajectory homing shots here. Strong homing, so they're really home on the enemies. Speed average, piercing, you can have different piercing types. So there is one that pierces terrain but not enemies, one that pierces enemies but not terrain, and then one piercing that pierces both of them, naturally. Actually, that might not be too bad idea to have let's do a full piercing with the homing on the Spark, so it just keeps following them. It's lower the duration a bit, so this is how long the bullets fly around. 1.1 second is quite a long time. Then there is a dissipation, so normally we just disappear with no effects. Bullets will split and fly off into many directions, so this could be really nice as well. And how many splits there is. Starting to cost quite a lot of points. Just try diffusion. Bullet size. This barely matters. It's just how big the bullets are, and it really doesn't matter that much, especially with the homing. Attack power, how much damage we do. These are really expensive, naturally, because well, multiple damages. Damage multiplier is really damn good. Elements, so these are bossed elements basically. They don't really change the look of the weapon, which kind of sucks. But you do basically heat damage, and you can also exploit these on certain levels. Like heat can be used to melt ice blocks in the ice level. Diagonal fire, so you can fire in diagonals. I don't think we need that one, but it could be really handy. This is all of this customization is very playstyle dependent as well, how you want to make it. And then comes the damage reduction, which allows you to actually take triple damage or quarter damage. And I think this is kinda game breaking almost. If you do quarter damage only to yourself, the game becomes very easy. And it's like, why not take the quarter damage only? Because it allows you to just blast through the levels and really just tank the bosses and everything without really dying. Especially on the Gunvolt character, because he has this special ability that Beck doesn't have. When he's in a low health, he gets the fairy helper, and he takes even less damage with that. And then even bosses do like no damage on you, like 1 health or 2 health every hit. So you can just totally just stand in their face and shoot them repeatedly. And let's take some knockback resistance as well. And we need air action. That gives me a air dash. Let's do that one. So we'll save this one. There was also an option in these. Go back here to a charge shot, and you actually create the charge shot yourself. So you slot link it to a different ability here, but it costs quite a lot of points to do that. So I'm not gonna do it right now. But you basically create the basic shot, and then you can create the charge shot as well, which is really interesting. So you can really, like in normal Mega Man games, you have different abilities and different charge abilities with different weapons. You can build all of those in this one yourself, and it is actually really fun to customize those. Even though there is definitely like these the best combo you can create, and then you don't need anything else. Pitch damage reduction and homing and all of these. It just is more powerful than doing any charge shots. Just spam those high damage bullets into the enemy's face while tanking their damage, and it's super easy. But yeah, we'll keep this. We'll save that one and equip that one. So now we have a spark shot that goes through everything, and we can add air dash. You don't actually start with the air dash or many of these abilities. These are all unlocks. You just start with the basic weapon. But yeah, this sharp shot definitely makes the life so much easier. I don't even need to really aim anywhere. Shots just home in and kill everything. Especially with this very very highly tracking charge shot. There was an enemy up there? Interesting. So this is one of those secrets. You can break walls and find like this CP. This was one of the rare items we saw in the start screen. So there's a lot of hidden breakable walls like this, and there's also branching paths in some of the levels that allow you to find different upgrades here and there. Just keep going after the level here. Level design in this game is actually pretty decent, much better like than in Mighty No. 9, which was pretty horrid. This does use the same bosses from Mighty No. 9, so there is no new bosses or anything in this one. It's just the same bosses copy-pasted from that, except the later game, a couple bosses. But the first 8 bosses are just the same as in Mighty No. 9. So if you play through that, you know what to expect pretty much. There is some issues with some of the controls of the game. If you are playing with the Joy-Cons and using the stick to move, grabbing onto those floating things and ladders is sometimes really difficult, and I recommend using the buttons instead for movement, because it's a lot more accurate. The movement and everything is how you can expect it for a Mega Man game, so it's very tight controls as you need. And there's really no other problem with that, as long as you just make sure you don't fall off the ladders and all of those. Rid of this first boss here. Maybe not the best option for this boss, this weapon combo. There is definitely weapon combos that help a lot more against like this boss. And not this one we are using right now. But it's just the first boss, so it's really whatever. There we go. And let's switch to Gunvolt now. I'll show you a bit about how different the Gunvolt is. Once we stage clear here first. So you get a score at the end of each level, and then a D. And there is a S ranking every level as well, so that's one of the things you can do on multiple playthroughs. There's finally a completed level there. Let's return to the title screen here, and we'll grab a Gunvolt here, and we'll go back. We'll do let's do oil platform. That's the second level of the game, and I'll show you the customization for Gunvolt as well. Gunvolt actually has not many bullet types. Like the Beck had a bunch of different ones. Gunvolt really doesn't have many. And it's mostly the same, the trajectories, method of fire, speed, piercing, and all of this. But instead of damage resistance, you have a septimal shield, which is basically exactly the same, different name. But you have these septimal powers at the end here as well, like Astra Sphere, Luxicalibur, and Voltic Chains, which do different things, and these use the burst mechanic of the game. So when you kill an enemy close by, you get a burst counter, and these can be used for this. They also add to score, so bursting through the levels is one of the things to do in the game. Personally, I don't really care about that. It's annoying to do, and it's kind of counterproductive to whole customizing your weapon thing in the game, because when you customize your weapon, it becomes really powerful, and you can home shoot like enemies one shot like from far away. But to do the bursting, you have to basically sit right next to the enemies, and if you kill an enemy from far away like this, you lose the burst counter. So it's really kind of strange counterproductive system how to do this comboing. But it's one of those challenge things again, if you want to unlock the full burst and everything. It's something to do again. But as a normal just single playthrough of the game, there's really no point worrying about the burst that much. At least I didn't really personally find it needed at all. And it's easy to lose the burst, especially with these powerful homing guns. Like there, I accidentally just shot that guy and lost my whole burst count because of the very, very heavily tracking homing shots. But yeah, as a Mega Man game, it is actually pretty well done. Much better, for example, than the Mighty Number 9, where especially the level design was really garbage. Well, it wasn't really garbage, but it wasn't the greatest as well. This one definitely has a much better level design, very reminiscent of some of the older Mega Man games. Although there is a few problem parts in this one as well. Actually, not this level. It's the air level basically. There's this platforms that you hang on to, and they move around, and they give you a bit of trouble in that. There's very tight jumps in that one that are really annoying to do, and the level is really designed to just knock you off from your platform, and then you die. And it's there's a couple parts in that are kind of rough and could have been made a lot better. You basically just die repeatedly. At least I died repeatedly several times on that part until I got through it. Just because I had to do a very, very specific kind of a jump in a very specific way that wasn't very intuitive. There's another one very late in the game where there is this conveyor belts that you roll on, and then there's one where there's like several conveyor belts that make you move really fast into the spikes, like a kind of staircase going down, and it's really annoying to control your character in that one, and you die. When you get to that point of the game, you know what I mean. You'll die several times in that part until you figure out how to properly do that jump. It's not very good. But other than that, the level design is very nice. There is one part in the late part of the game where they have this kind of screen transformation mechanic that kind of bends the viewpoint of the game, and it really meshes up the pixel graphics of the game. It becomes this kind of awkward mush that's really hard to look at, and it literally made my eyes hurt playing through that level. And I think that could have been kind of thought better. It's not really good at all how it is done. It looks bad, and it makes at least my eyes hurt on that level. So it's very bad. And that conveyor belt jump thing is on that level as well, which doesn't really help. That you die repeatedly on that level, and then while your eyes bleed, more or less. But yeah, this is very much the mighty Gunvolt burst. It is a very nice Mega Man game in the lack of a Mega Man game on Switch or any consoles recently. Too bad the series is kind of dead, it seems, and we have to get these alternative Mega Man games to replace. But it does scratch the same itch, and definitely with the replayability challenges and customization of the guns and everything, it is a fun title to play through. And I can highly recommend it to anyone who is a bit of a Mega Man fan. It is short, for sure. It's only like a couple hours for a playthrough or less. But if you do the challenge and everything, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's my quick review of the mighty Gunvolt burst. And check out the other reviews, Let's Plays and everything on the YouTube channel. And check out the live stream on nerd.tv where we play a lot of builder strategy management games mostly, and then Switch games on Sundays currently. And I'll see you there. So have a nice time, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.